Alright guys, I'm Benny the Comicstorian, and this is...
Indie Bookosaurus.
Give me a roar!
Roar?
Alright, he doesn't know how to do his own gig. We're all sick here in Colorado. I think the whole state is out of action right now with sickness.
Well, I mean, if you have to understand, Colorado's covered with clouds and water right now, and it was actually 80 degrees yesterday.
Right, so we're just all messed up.
Just out of nowhere.
Yeah. So basically, if you've been watching the CTV channel, you know that we've been doing reviews for Gotham and Flash episodes, but now we're going to start bringing in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and in order to do that, we have to talk about all of the season to start, so that we can start doing the individual episodes, which is 3 or 4 of them. They're all kind of blurred together at this point, which I guess will be my first critique of Season 3 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. While things have been happening in the season, it feels very uneventful. Like, they've talked about a lot, but not a lot has actually happened.
Well, yeah, I mean, once again, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is a lot like a Marvel comic book where we're getting all these great character moments and we have a wide array of characters because S.H.I.E.L.D., Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is a Friends show. Like, it's not like Flash and Friends, it's actually just Friends. I'll be there for you, right? Let's start dancing like David Schwimmer and Jennifer Aniston. That's basically what S.H.I.E.L.D. is, except there's a monster, and that's great. But anyways, what's going on is there's so many characters, so many plots, and so you have to touch up on, like, how's Fitz doing? What happened to Gemma? How's Mockingbird doing? How's Coulson? Where's Mindy? Whatever.
Her name is?
The Cavalry.
The Cavalry. That's what I know as the Cavalry.
The Cavalry.
Maya?
But anyways, there's all these
May. Our camera guy told me Maya. He was wrong. I corrected it as being May. Nobody could see that he got it right, and I'm making him look bad.
Okay, oh fearless leader. So, anyways, we have all these great characters, and so you just get a little piece of them. And so that's one of the things is that the show's getting so elaborate now. It kind of has the Game of Thrones fatigue effect. But at the same time,
where you have to go a couple episodes to see what's happening.
Yeah, and you're just progressing the story a little bit. However, what they do a good job is pushing the story forward. Yeah. Like, they have a big goal every episode. It's like, okay, this is what's happening this episode. So what we find out is in episode 1, Gemma's just gone, and in the I can't remember exactly everything that happened in the first episode, except we get introduced to Lash, who's this crazy monster guy.
Right, no, and he looks insane. He's got like a porcupine effect going on.
And they're pushing forward the S.H.I.E.L.D. agenda to try to find the Inhumans. And we run into the ACLU or the ACTU or the ACT, I don't know.
The new
it's supposed to be Advanced Idea Mechanics, but it's not. It's some other terrible thing. And so we find these protagonists are butting heads, and they're after Inhumans, and S.H.I.E.L.D's after Inhumans, and everybody wants the Inhumans.
Right, and that's basically it. And Daisy, or Skye, as you may know her from the previous season, is running around trying to build her own like elite Inhuman team. So she's pretty much building the Secret Warriors from the comics at this point. Which I'm actually liking a lot because you're getting to see a lot of the Inhumans pop up, a lot of what she's doing. Every Inhuman they get, you're starting to see a different side of Daisy. We're not seeing the soft and cuddly Daisy. We're seeing the Daisy who's like, can I use this person as a soldier? No. God damn it! That's kind of what she's like, you know?
Yeah, and so we definitely see what these characters are up to, and that's definitely what the show is about. The second episode features, let's get Gemma back into the show.
And that was I was actually a little disappointed with how quickly they did that.
And it's really cool because, like, there's 2 ways you go about it. One, you, like, spend half the season going, like, we have to figure out how to get Gemma back, and the whole time Fitz is, like, frustrating, he's banging his head against a wall, like, how can I get her back? But instead he just immediately figures it out, because he is a super genius, by the way. A lot of people don't know that.
Well, yeah, and they've also seemed to have just completely gotten rid of his brain damage in season 2.
He's evolved. I mean, I think he got over it. I think the whole point is he got over it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still looking for a piece of technology they would have to put in his head to fix the brain damage.
I thought there was going to be more to that, and it's almost like they were like, nah, we don't like where this is going. Bring back Fitz the way we like him.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what happened. But he's actually cooler now because he's, like, confident because, like, he loves Gemma, and he's just like, oh, cool, I can do this neat stuff now. And
he's always got stubble now, I've noticed.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're classy. So they figure out how to bring back Gemma, so they bring her back into the story immediately, which is really cool because you find out that there's going to be more to that story than meets the eye.
Right. Well, that's what's happening in the latest episode. They've gone more into that plot line where Gemma's now been writing a plan to go back.
Yeah, and I was going to talk about that later in my top things, but
anyways, we're going to get to that in the top things.
So we got Gemma back. We're putting the pieces back. We find out that May is off, like, finding herself and dealing with her husband, ex-husband, or whatever. And she's working with Hunter now. Hunter's on a private agenda to go find everybody's favorite Hydra agent, I can't remember his name. Ward.
And as of episode 1, Ward is trying to rebuild Hydra.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing that out there.
And he's got a Strucker under his wing. He's got a little Strucker,
literally
baby
Strucker.
Because they immediately, you might remember in Avengers, they just killed Strucker, or was it Captain America?
Yeah.
No, it was in Avengers. They just killed him. Who's like a huge protagonist. And they're just like, let's get rid of this guy. Nobody will be his son. And that's a classic Marvel trope, by the way, having the son be really cool. Much cooler than the dad was.
Right.
That's happened in a lot of comic books on Kenny X-Men Avengers. There's a lot of references it could make. So I think it's
Wolverine's
cool.
daughter/clone is now Wolverine. I mean,
Yeah,
that stuff happens all the time.
That's a trope. That's a thing that happens. So this is happening. Ward is awesome. He's doing stuff. And that's...
And that brings us up to episode 3, basically. Because, I mean, like I said, stuff's happened, but it hasn't. Because they're also trying to find Lash. And in episode 3, we get more on the Lash situation.
That's episode 4.
4?
Yeah.
Where are we at now?
Episode 4, the most recent one.
Oh. See, they blur together. I don't know which is which anymore.
This one's focused about Lash and hunting him down.
Right.
And what he's all about. And Lash is this crazy blue monster that runs around and rips people's hearts out.
Ah!
Yeah.
No?
Heart Ripper.
Okay.
That's a great power. like if I had a power set, I was like, well, I can fly, I can run through walls, I can rip hearts out. That's
I want to rip hearts out of bodies.
That's a great power set.
No, I like that idea.
We're starting to deal with Lash. We learn more about him, but that doesn't go anywhere. They just kind of play a little cat and mouse with him. They learn some information. We see AIM and S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of get... I'm just calling them AIM for the rest of my life, by the way. If it drives you nuts, I'm sorry. It should be Advanced Ideas Mechanics. That would be awesome.
I can't wait for Sunspot to show up, even though it'll never happen.
No, that's Avenger Idea Mechanics.
Oh.
Yeah, two totally different things.
Okay.
But anyways, that kind of catches us up to where we're at. It's really as far as details I want to go for episode 4, because I didn't really think much happened.
No, and that's just it. Like, pretty much the entire season up to this point has been setting up what's going to happen in Agents. Well, it's not bad. There's a reason why I like the other shows better. More stuff happens in the condensed space of the episodes. And Agents is doing a great job of turning it into a giant, like, spread out series. Someone asked me if they could jump in at season 3, and no, you can't. You need to at least watch season 2 to know what's going on with this series.
Everything is so developed, the way they have the characters and the story. It's like, once again, it's
a very long movie. That's what it is.
It's the Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Problem.
Like, you can never jump in at season 6 of Game of Thrones and know what's going on. But with that all out of the way, let's move into our definitive spoiler section. Our top 5 moments. For us, we'll pretty much do like the series up to this point, and then next week we'll start doing individual episodes. So Jason wrote up a nice list here, and I'm going to show you this because you can't read that. You can't read that at all.
Yeah, I have secret handwriting because I work at a comic shop.
Okay, so number 1 he wrote, and Jason, I need you to elaborate on this. There's a monster!
Yeah, there's a monster. Like,
he put 3 exclamation points.
Like the last time, the last 2 episodes, the last 2 seasons of the show, there really hasn't been a monster. It's been about like, oh, there's Inhumans and this is a thing, and the first one was like, oh, I'm Bill Paxton, I'm evil. You know what I mean? Like, this is actually okay. We finally have a monster. The monster runs around and rips people's hearts out, and he's got dreadlocks and is blue.
It's not dreadlocks, they're spikes. He's Sonic.
That's fine, whatever. Yeah, he's an evil Sonic. I never thought of that.
He's the evil Shadow the Sonic the Hedgehog guy, yeah.
Yeah, so it's cool, and I'm a big fan of monsters. I know that in the DC, I watch the DC shows sometimes, and yeah, they do a lot of the really cool supervillains, the colorful ones, the ones that just don't make a lot of sense, but we all know about S.H.I.E.L.D. is a little more... They try to ground themselves in reality. I say try because obviously it's a comic book.
Right.
So
but that actually leads us into your number 2.
Yeah.
Lots of Inhumans.
And there's lots of Inhumans now too, so we're like starting to get into the whole X-Men type of world where it's like, you're an Inhuman and you're an Inhuman, we're gonna bring you in.
Everyone's look under your chair, you're all Inhumans!
And then this Inhuman's heart is missing. Why is this Inhuman's heart meeting? Oh, Lash, I dislike you greatly. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of that fun stuff going on, and we have lots of superpowered people, so that's a lot of fun to get into. So that was my number 2.
I can't read the hieroglyphics for 3, but it says Gemma something.
Yeah, so I like that Gemma lives. They got to that right away. They brought her back, and I like the story that they're going with. I like that she's like after she realized she comes back, she has this really heartbreaking dinner with Fitz.
Oh no, I really liked that actually. With her coming back and everything.
Which was a reference to the first, like they were talking about going to dinner, and then she dies.
No,
and then
she vanishes.
Well, whatever. But he thinks she might be dead. And then he brings her back, and they're like, cool.
They've held the reservation the whole time.
Yeah, they held the reservation. He goes to dinner, and then she's like, I have post-traumatic stress. I can't handle this. I have to go back. And it's like, why do you have to go back? And then he asks questions like, how could Gemma have lived on a random space planet without?
We
How
don't
did she eat? How
question
did she do
that.
that?
We don't
But
question-
that's what the next episode is.
Yeah,
it's going
well,
to
she's
answer
gonna
all those
explain, but
questions.
we don't question that stuff. It's comic book world.
That's all I did.
Yeah.
That's all I did.
All you did was question it?
Yeah.
Number 4, I'll go ahead and do this one. Fitz being a badass.
Yeah.
Because I can read what he wrote. But I agree with that one. Fitz is awesome in this one. He's trying so hard to bring Gemma back, even to like the first episode where he's banging on the portal. He's like, do something! Do something! And then he's like doing all kinds of research. He goes and messes with the Asgardian to try and get him to help them out. Stuff like that. I mean, honestly, I'm assuming this is what you were all talking about, but I loved all the Fitz moments. Fitz is doing a great job this season of being one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, they developed his character, and I like him a lot more now. And he's not just the crazy scientist guy anymore, but he's more like, I'm a hero. And that's what we like to see. Obviously, the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they're never going to all be like a cool superhero team, or will they?
They will, the Secret Warriors. But that leads us to number 5, Hunter getting the crap beat out of him.
Yeah.
Hunter is probably my second favorite character this whole season so far.
Oh, really?
Because
Yeah.
he's just being amazing. He's like, I'm gonna go avenge Bobby. Bye, everyone. I'm gonna go get beat up. I'm gonna beat other people up. I'm gonna challenge a lot of people. I'm gonna get them weapons. I'm gonna be just on the borderline of being a bad guy.
Yeah, Hunter, I wrote that down for a different reason. I don't like
okay.
Hunter, which is why I kind of like seeing
I
him
love Hunter.
get pummeled. No, he's all right. Like, Hunter's a character that beginning of the second season, I was like, who is this guy? I don't like this guy. Who cares about him? Why is he spending time with Xena? Like, I don't understand.
Her name's not Xena.
And why is he going out with Adrian Pilecki? I mean, it's just like, you just get angry and you're upset about it, and you just, kind of mope. But he kind of grows on you because he's got that accent thing.
Anybody
And,
with a foreign accent is just amazing. And if you have a foreign accent, you're awesome, and we love you. That's how America works.
Yeah. So, anyways, he's kind of evolved, and he's like, I'm gonna take a beating, and he kind of has that scene from Snatch where like Brad Pitt.
Oh yeah,
fighting
I didn't think they'd put that much blood into an ABC show, like because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is kind of geared towards kids to an extent.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s pretty violent. I mean,
Well, it is now.
This last episode, there was like a person in like a pool of blood.
Yeah, they're
just like,
definitely amping it up. They're like, oh, we didn't get the kids crowd. Whatever, put blood in it. Like,
yeah. So that was our top 5 moments. I think the last thing I'll remember is what we'll find out what happens to May's husband.
yeah, no,
Because that was a huge sport. That was a huge, shocking twist at the end. Is that let's just kill a character because they'll do that at Marvel. They'll just be like, "Oh, you're a character."
people are starting to like
Did
you.
it.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
It's a Game of Thrones syndrome once again. But that's it. That's our review of the entire series up to this point and our top 5 moments, guys. Let us know in the comments down below what your favorite moments from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. up to this point were. And if you enjoy this review and you want us to do more Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., please give this video a like so we know you want more of this review. Also, don't forget to subscribe to stay on top of your comic book and TV show and movie goodness. I'm Benny the Comicstorian, that is Jason the Indie Bookosaurus, and we'll see you next time. I can breathe again.
Have a good one.
Oh, there's hair under there?